All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So this video has actually been a long time coming. Today, we're actually going to be going over some of the new features and new indicators that are on the hyblockcapital.com suite. This is a product that I personally use for my trading every single day. It's awesome. I'm sure that you guys have seen me if you guys follow me on Twitter. If not, link down in the description below. You guys have seen me post these liquidation charts. You've seen other people post these liquidation charts, whether they're for BitMEX or Bybit or Binance or whatever. It's very important data to have because it lets you kind of plan where your bids or asks are going to be so that you can get filled, and also where to not be placing your stop loss, i.e. in a liquidity pool. So we're going to go over some of the new features today. I guess we'll just go ahead and dive straight on into it. Let's go. All right, so I don't want to make this video like super crazy long or anything like that. So I'm just going to go over and hit the two most requested and biggest updates that they have. I'm not going to go over the redesign of their entire website or whatever. However, as you can see on their launch pad right here, they have completely redesigned the entire thing. It's a lot more user-friendly now. It's a lot more easy on the eyes. My only thing is I kind of wish that they would add a dark mode for their entire site so that we're not like getting blinded here. You can see like the reflection in my glasses. It's like super bright. I'm loving the redesign of their overall panel here. It looks really, really good. So that pretty much covers their dashboard. Of course, they also denote here which things that they offer, which are free. Obviously, you can use their chart for free. You can use, you can make their custom dashboard that they have and add a whole bunch of different things for free if you want to have different charts up or whatever. But for right now, let's just go over these main new features. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the new indicators on their chart. So let's switch over to here. Right here, if you bring up your indicators, right, you've got all of these different categories. So this is all like custom coded, right? So you've got all your traditional trading view indicators, and then you've got your order flow and open interest. As you can see, they aggregate data across multiple exchanges. So it's not just BitMEX. The indicators are going to be tracking whatever exchanges that you pretty much want them to track, which is awesome. But anyway, all of these are all custom done by them. Obviously, you've seen me post these charts before with the liquidation levels. You can select which ones you want on here. For instance, if you just want 100x, you can add those. And after it loads, it'll populate the chart with those if there are any. You've got your sentiment indicators, which is going to be like trade bots and user bot ratios, funding rates, and things like that. And then the highly requested one, which we're going to go over right now, which is the order book. Okay, so technically this is in beta right now. It does work as far as I can see. I haven't personally ran into any bugs with that. So if any of you guys from Hyblock Capital are watching this, like any of the devs or whatever, so far in my opinion, this works perfectly. I haven't seen any issues with it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to load up both of these so I can show you what the difference is. So the main difference between these is just going to be visual. Okay, so these are going to be measuring the same thing, except this is going to be mostly a histogram based one, and this is going to be mostly a line based one, right? So I prefer this one. You know, for me, it's just easier to read. And what we'll do is I'll just go ahead and explain how this works real quick. Okay, so this is going to be your bid and your asks. Okay, so asks are obviously sell orders, okay, or shorting orders, right? So that's going to be your red line here. And then your longs or your bids is going to be your green line. Okay, so pretty cut and dry there, pretty simple. And if you bring up your settings, you can see we've got a couple options here. You've got all of your exchanges here. Now, I leave all of these checked by default because it filters out the noise of just one exchange, right? So if I want to look at just one exchange, that's cool. But at the end of the day, I normally leave all of these checked. And normally what I'm messing with the most is this option right here for market types, which is either aggregating spot and perpetuals, or only looking at spot, or only looking at perpetuals. For ease of explanation, I'm just going to leave this on all because it just combines all of the orders. But what's more important than that is this option, this first setting right here, which says greater than or equal to. So this is going to be the level at which it actually starts getting the data. Okay. Now, I personally like to leave this at the quote level. So that's going to be like the current price. It's going to be greater than or equal to the quote level. I don't really ever set it at 0%, but these are pretty close together. Now, these other options here of percentages, I want you guys to note, and this is important with how this indicator operates, is if you select 1%, that's going to only get data that's greater than or equal to 1% of the current price action. Okay. So where the current price level is, it's going to bump it up to 1%. This smaller than has to obviously be greater, right, than your minimum level. So, you know, we can set this to 1%, we can set this to 2%, and you can see as I'm changing this, since it's measuring further, it's starting to measure further outside of the price action, you can see that it drastically changes the data that you're getting, okay? So greater than or equal to 5% of the price action, shorts are like super, super high. 2%, they're still really high. Obviously, we're in a downtrend right now. You want it larger than what this first setting is so that it can actually pick up the data points. But that's pretty much it. There really isn't too much else to go over and explain here, except probably its uses, right? So this is extremely handy, especially for if you just want to look at spot or just perpetual information. This is extremely useful. Now, the reason why you would be using this is because you would be wanting to pick up within a certain price range or a certain percentage of the price rather, how many bids or asks there are, because that's going to give you kind of a sentiment of what the market is doing right now. So obviously right now, Bitcoin has been in a downtrend since the 14th, right? It's the 17th. And you can try and figure out like, okay, what's really going on within, you know, 0% to 5% of the price action. How about 1% of the price action? Okay, so there's a lot of ways that you can manipulate this to kind of see exactly where bid and ask levels are relative to the percentage of how far away from the price action you're measuring. I hope that that makes sense. So if you are confused about anything that I just said, they do have an academy up here. So if you want all of these features and every single one of their tools, they have like an entire guide for on their academy. So if anything confuses you or you don't know how to use one of their indicators or you want to learn how to interpret it more clear or better, then you can go to their little academy, search for the indicator that you have questions on, and you can have documentation for that there, okay? All right, so if you come back to your product launchpad, you'll notice that they have the liquidation levels, which is what you guys always see me post, and then they have a liquidation heat map, okay? So if you guys go ahead and click on that, this is what's going to come up. What's really nice about this is since it's a heat map, it makes it very, very clear on here with the price action of where levels of liquidations currently stand. This is the reason why this was so highly requested, is because on the liquidation levels, you can't change the look back period. Like it's just constantly updating itself. And, you know, once the end of the chart has scrolled off of the page, like that's it. Like you can't really look at any historical data. However, here you can. So you can look up to a year's worth of data. Actually, I'm really surprised how fast that loaded. I normally like to look at like the month and the week. Okay. And then I use the actual like liquidation levels for the intraday stuff. But having a look back period of like a month and seeing like overall, like, okay, like where are the monthly levels going to be at? Like, okay, obviously our top here up at around, you know, 24.2 or whatever. And then our lows down here, there's a ton of long liquidations, you know, down here, okay, at about like 22K. And it just really makes it a lot easier to kind of delegate, like where are the overall major liquidity pools on a monthly time frame, on a weekly time frame. Right now, the price is creeping down and it's kind of like eating into these liquidations here. And it looks like our bottom is going to be around here, which would be at about 23.2K-ish, okay? So right now we're still eating through these liquidations, and this is on the weekly scale. So that we're right now sitting in and starting to eat through a weekly liquidity pool, You know, and then obviously you would have technically a support level in here. This is the way that I interpret it. Okay. Other people interpret these different ways. If I was like longing here, I don't want price to go below there into this next liquidity pool, because the price is it's going to jump hard in one way or the other. In this instance, it would be to the downside. So I look for blank spots like this to be putting my stop losses in. Okay. If you put a bid there to long, you might not get filled. However, if you were bidding and you had ladders for bids in this major weekly liquidity pool here, chances are you're getting filled right now. When you start rolling your mouse over here, it'll tell you more information about the candles. It gives you the open, high, low, close information. And then it will tell you in that gray box, it will tell you exactly, like how many millions of dollars worth of futures and derivatives there are to be liquidated at those levels. Okay. And then that obviously corresponds with this legend over here for the heat map colors themselves. All right, guys, that pretty much does it for today's video. Just wanted to really quickly go over their new indicators and features that they have on their platform. Make sure that you check the link in the description below for a little bonus if you do decide to sign up for their service, which I highly recommend. I use it every single day in my trading. If you're more of an intermediate trader or you're looking to do more volume and order flow analysis, I highly recommend a lot of these tools that they use. They are invaluable to me as a trader. Besides that, later on in the week, I think for Friday, I have another video coming out. It's going to be another tutorial. So make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button. Help me out with that YouTube algorithm, and check out elevate-trading.com for more information on all of the algos that we offer. There's also a free Discord link in that description for you guys to come hang out with us and chat as well. Until next time, happy trading.